All righty. Good afternoon, ladies. We'd like to welcome you once again to Healthy Hearts Plus 2, Mommies, Bellies, Babies, and Daddies on this wonderful summer afternoon in June. Healthy Heart Plus 2 is our multi-service health education organization that's poised to foster social impacts throughout the city of Richmond by helping to not only to decrease hunger within our communities, but also on a nutritional based level for our moms, our pregnant moms, our moms who are postpartum, as well as our mothers who are breastfeeding. Of course, we provide our culturally sensitive curriculum that is relevant to our moms in support of promotion of our health programs and families of color, women, infants, children, and fathers. Our Mommies, Bellies, Babies, and Daddies ABCs of Breastfeeding program, which is A, of course, to appreciate themselves, B, to bond with their babies, and C, to be caretakers of their self and their babies. Due to the undeniable systematic racism and classism and lack of whole foods, access, what we try to do is to make sure that our mothers are provided with the nutritious meals by providing those bags every Tuesday, home delivery, of course, making sure that we remain distance apart as we continue to move through this phase of COVID. Also, our Mother's Justice Program is our holistic approach to self-care and advocacy by providing birth plan journals, which utilize and track our moms' vital signs as well as their weight, and to make sure that they are taking ownership of their pregnancies and taking ownership of their postpartum care. And having said that, we would like to welcome Ms. Parks, who is with us today from the city of Richmond. We welcome you to our virtual sister circle. And of course, we'd like to welcome our grand doula, Ms. Basma Kareem, and also our Ready, Set, Learn facilitator, Miss Anissa Johnson. So we have to make sure that all of our precious 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds will be in front of the camera when it is time for Miss Johnson to present her Ready, Set, Learn program for our little ones. And of course, we will be introducing more formally our once a month speaker, Miss Alaine Strozier, of course, who is coming to us all the way from Pikeville, North Carolina. We look forward to her once a month coming in and blessing us rather, with her enlightenment on her take on birthing and breastfeeding. So we want to welcome her once again. So having said that, I would like to tell you a little bit about our Ready, Set, Learn program. Of course, get your little ones, as I will be. Miss Johnson, did you need me to send the hosting duties over to you, or will you be doing that strictly from the camera?
Strictly from the camera, back with by book.
Okay, awesome. Well, let me tell you a little bit about our Ready, Set, Learn program. Our Ready, Set, Learn program is part of our curriculum with Healthy Hearts Plus 2. We provide our moms and dads in this program an opportunity for their children to participate in what we call our preschool, beginning at the age of 2. Sometimes we have our babies who are 1 year old as well. They join us. Our staff, which consists of current teaching assistants and former educators from Richmond and Rickel and Chesterfield public school systems, we provide both an in-person and virtual. Of course, we'll be back in person once we move through the phase of COVID, but currently we're doing our virtual lessons, which include learnings of objectives such as colors, shapes, numbers, making sure they know their personal identification, their name and addresses, things like that, and working on their speech, their manners, please and thank you, health and safety with hand washing, etc. So having said that, moms who are on board, if you have your 1 or your 2 or your 3-year-olds, feel free to put them in front of the camera if you are comfortable. If not, they can listen and join as I turn this over to Miss Anissa Johnson, our facilitator. Thank you so much, Miss Johnson.
Okay, 1 second. Wi-Fi connection's acting a little funky.
I can tell, but you sound much better. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I'll see if I can get through the book.
Yeah, you're kind of popping in and out just a little bit.
Okay. So you want me to try?
Yeah, go ahead and try and see what we have.
All right. Today's book is called Another Important Book by Brown. Now, the important about one is that life just begun. You can't quite talk. You found your nose, discovered your toes. You've seen the moon and felt the sun. But the important thing is that life has just begun. The important thing about is all the things that you can do. You can walk, talk, and sneeze and laugh and tease and cough and jump and pray and cry and have fun. And the important thing about being the thing you can do. Now, the thing about being 3 is being me. Who can open their eyes and see? Me. Who knows the difference between a pig and a tree? Me. And who runs around as busy as a bee? Me. And who's funny and not? Important thing about being 3, being me. Important thing about 4 is that you were bigger than you were before. Now at 4, you open the door, you've got, you've grown more, you can blink and think as quick as a wink. Oh, I'm sorry, Renata, still having sound difficulties. Better. You can open your eyes to a world of you run everywhere. You can sing, fling your arms in the air. But the important thing about being 4 is that you are bigger than you were before. The important thing about 5 and 6 is that you've learned a lot of tricks. You learn how to count, learn to read, you dress and get what you need. You can almost tell time. You can speak and rhyme. But the important thing about 5 and 6 is that you've learned a lot of tricks. And you grow a little more. Each day, you're older than before. At 1, your life has just begun. At 2, so much you can do. At 3, you've discovered me. And at 4, you're bigger than you were before. At 5 and 6, you've learned some tricks. But the important thing about 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 is that you are. Thank you, everyone.
Can't hear Renata.
There we are. Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson. Hopefully our babies were able to hear and understand, and we look forward to learning more at our next sister circle with our moms. So thank you so very much. So as our moms continue to come into the circle, we want to welcome them as always, and especially on behalf of our CEO and founder, Dr. Alice Freeman. who of course is the what I call the mother and the birth child of our program. I'm just a heartbeat. I make sure that things flow. All righty. So having said that, hello, Miss Nikki, how are you? I see you. It's good to see you. Okay, are we ready? I am about to introduce to you our facilitator, of course, Miss Alaine Strozier. She is a community advocate for women and families in the areas of pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum experience. She is a breastfeeding peer counselor. She provides support to our pregnant mothers and pregnant mothers within her own community in the form of education to prepare for successful breastfeeding. She also helps to provide postpartum mothers with the guidance needed for our healthy initiative and continuation of breastfeeding. She is a life coach. She meets with her clients to discuss needs and goals, as well as develop strategies and plans for her clients. She is a doula who provides emotional, physical, and educational support to help women have a safe and, most importantly, a memorable birth experience. She's also a Lamaze certified childbirth educator, and we are so happy as always to have her on board as part of Healthy Hearts Plus 2, Mommies, Bellies, Babies, and Daddies monthly staff. She will be joining us, of course, every fourth Monday in each month. Welcome again from Pikeville, North Carolina, Miss Alaine Strozier. Come on, Sister Strozier.
Thank you. You
You're
sound so
welcome.
professional.
I try.
All right. So as always, I have slides. So I'll just need to
Yep, I'm going to send the
share
hosting
my
duties
screen.
over to you. Yes, ma'am. If you have anybody to pop in, well, send the host duties over to you. And then once you have everything set up, you can send the host duties back to me. And then that way I can see who's coming in. Okay, you got it.
All right, now talk me through how to find my, oh, it should be on the side, right?
Yes. Where's my tech support? There you are, Miss Johnson.
Figuring out
Where'd she go? There she is.
So there should be a share screen green icon on the bottom of the Zoom meeting.
Yep, there it is.
Click on and option to select your.
All right.
Yep.
Can you see the screen, everyone?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Then you can make it full screen. On the bottom, to comment, there's a little square with right underneath it. Go to the right. That one.
Okay.
From there, and
There
then you
we
can
go.
see people's face still, Miss Alaine?
Yes, I can see.
If you go to Miss Renata's, you can, there'll be a blue icon that pops up, and it will give you the.
Let me try to do it from my. I'm gonna try to do it from my phone.
Make host. Should I click on make host?
Yes, ma'am. Give it to me. Way works best.
All right, there we go.
Okay, and then you can just do your
Got
slides.
it. Okie dokie. Hi, ladies. So we have a good conversation going on today. Have a lot to share with you, and I'll stop periodically so that you can ask me any questions. So if it's interactive, we have more fun. So as you can see, let me see. We're going to be talking about the Lamaze fundamentals for pregnancy. Lamaze fundamentals of pregnancy. Before I explain to you what it means, what fundamentals means, I just want to let you know that pregnancy is a normal, natural life event. Pregnancy is a normal, natural life event. Now, we do know that sometimes things happen with the mother's body or the baby where we're put in a different category and we're high risk. But ultimately, pregnancy is a normal, natural life event. Let's go to the next slide here. So when we say fundamentals, Lamaze fundamentals of pregnancy, what we're talking about is the basics of pregnancy, the necessities of pregnancy, the key things that you need to know because you're pregnant, and the crucial things that you need to be empowered with because you're pregnant. So the fundamentals are those basic, necessary, key, and crucial informational things that you need just because you are carrying a baby. So this is the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, so to speak. All right. So as a woman, you have an innate ability to give birth. You have an innate ability to give birth. So what does that mean? It means that your body is designed to nourish and nurture your baby through pregnancy. One of the things I want to bring to your attention is that your nurturing to your little one is happening right now. You're growing your little baby, your little one inside of your body. You're nurturing your baby right now. So there's been a lot of science that has gone forth, and it has taught us that if there is stress, anxiety, abuse, anything like that that's going on around the mom's vicinity, guess who can feel that? Your baby feels that. This is why we need to create a healthy space for moms. So your baby's brain is growing right now. Your baby needs you to take in proteins and fats that's needed for your diet. So this is what I think is absolutely amazing. When we eat healthy, baby gets those nutrients to help grow the baby overall. Most importantly, the baby's neurology, which is the brain of the baby, is extremely important in terms of our food and the people that we invite into our space. Because when there's stress, anxiety, and all those things, it affects the baby's brain development. So the baby is already getting emotional, mental, and nutritional help while in utero. Okay, let me look at my slides on my phone. I'm going to move that down here. Okay, next slide. So what are healthy proteins for you, for your unborn baby's brain development? Anybody like tofu? Nobody likes tofu. I enjoy tofu. But if you don't like tofu, beans, legumes, quinoa. Some people pronounce it quinoa. Quinoa is really, really good for the protein for your baby's brain development. Nuts, nut butter like almond butter, peanut butter, or cashew butter. Chia seeds. If you're taking notes, you can write this down. Chia seed pudding. I don't know if you've ever had that, but it is really, really good. What I did notice, though, about chia seed pudding is that it lowers your blood pressure. So for a person like me who already has low blood pressure, I was eating chia seed pudding for like a week and a half, and I couldn't get my blood pressure up, and come to find out it was the chia seeds. Lentils. My grandmother is from the Caribbean. We ate a lot of lentils. So those are some of the things that you can eat to enhance your baby's brain development. Your healthy fats, your macadamia nuts, your olives, your olive oil, again, the chia seeds, the cashews, avocado, guacamole, all of those things are good for your baby's brain development. So remember, your baby is inside of you. You are housing your little one, and you're allowing food to come into your body so that your baby's brain can develop. Your baby's also developing his or her mental and emotional well-being as well. Don't forget that, mental and emotional well-being. So, of course, fish, chicken, lean pieces of steak, that is all really, really good for your baby's brain development. Your plate, I know that you get all of these beautiful foods. Renata was talking about how you're getting foods on Tuesday, the vegetables and all of that. All of those foods that are in those bags are imperative for your baby's brain development. So I want to also encourage you to eat, get a snack for the road, one for the road, raisins, trail mix, fruit. This is a good season for cutting up some watermelon, putting it in a bowl and taking it down the street with you. Granola, even cheese and crackers. Remember, when you eat healthy, you're helping to promote your baby's brain development. So once your baby comes through your birth canal, there's so many things that the baby has already taken in by your lifestyle. So your baby is growing week by week. Each week of pregnancy is necessary for your baby to grow and mature, for women's bodies to develop for birth and breastfeeding. So as your belly gets bigger and bigger, as you're continuing to eat those beautiful foods, week by week, different systems in your baby's body is growing, and you are helping promote the growth of those systems, the circulatory system, the skeletal system, the neurological system. All of those systems are growing, and you are helping and aiding your baby to get big and strong and healthy to live a purpose here on earth. I also want to bring to your attention that your due date is just an estimated date. Keep in mind that your baby can be born 2 weeks before that estimated date or 2 weeks after that estimated date. Your baby can be born 2 weeks before, hey y'all, hey, or 2 weeks after. So it's okay if you're in that time frame. As a doula, if a mom tells me that they want me to assist her at birth, I get her due date, but then on my calendar, I have to etch out 4 weeks, 2 weeks before her due date, 2 weeks after her due date, so that I can show up for her. So most babies are born between 38 and 42 weeks from the first day of their mother's last menstrual period. We want you to eat healthy, be well, live in a safe space, have people that you love around you, have people that love you back, have people around you that keep you safe. Because if you feel nourished, if you feel safe, if you feel loved, all of that it goes to your baby. Because what we want, all that stuff is important, because we don't want you to have a baby prematurely, right? So as your baby is growing, your breasts are also growing and preparing for, guess what? Breastfeeding. So when your baby is born between 38 and 42 weeks, your breasts are nice and mature and prepared to make milk for your little one. Any questions thus far? Any questions thus far? All right. So let's talk a little bit about your breasts as you are going through your pregnancy. Let's talk about your breasts. From the moment of conception to the end of when you have your baby, your breasts are maturing. Science tells us that a woman's breasts are not mature until she breastfeeds. So as your belly grows, as your baby grows, your breasts are growing and maturing. So look at this breast here with that star. I put a red star by each breast that I want to highlight. So when you find out that you're first pregnant, raise your hand if your breast got sore. I know I'm not having any children, but I do remember I have 4 children. Yeah, my breasts were sore. They hurt. The nipples were sore. Why? Because a hormonal change is taking place and your breasts are preparing to breastfeed. Let's talk about your breast becoming darker and larger, your areola. So you have your nipple, which becomes dark because of hormones, and your areola becomes dark because of hormones. Now, I'm going to tell you why that happens. It is because of it's a hormonal situation that's going on. I'm not pregnant, but if I were to look at my breast, I can see Montgomery glands. Because you're pregnant, your Montgomery glands are more pronounced. And if you don't know what a Montgomery gland is, it's okay. I'm going to show you a picture. So because of the hormones that are in your body and your baby's growing and your hormones are doing what it needs to do, your areola and your nipples become dark. So once your baby is born and you do skin to skin, If baby is fine and you're fine, then your provider, a good provider, will allow you to do skin to skin. We call that the golden hour. Your baby can find your nipple. Why? Because it's dark. And I'm also going to tell you a little bit more about those Montgomery glands. So here's a breast. Here's two breasts. You have the breast of a Black woman and the breast of a white woman or a lighter skinned woman. So where the arrows are, you see these Montgomery glands. Has anybody seen their own Montgomery glands since they've been pregnant? Yes, she's giving me a thumbs up. Yes, you have Montgomery glands. And I don't want you to feel squeamish or anything about, because we're talking about these parts of our body. We want to talk about our breasts, our Montgomery glands, our nipples, even when we're talking about childbirth. We want to talk about the changes in the cervix and the vagina. All of that is part of pregnancy. We want to get used to using those words and talking about it in our sister circle. So those are your Montgomery glands. Let's talk a little bit more about the changes that are going on in your glands. Now, these little bumps, a woman will have up to 38 glands per breast. The average, they say, is 9, but she can have up to 38. I've never counted mine, but feel free to count yours just to see how many you have on each breast. Montgomery glands produce an oil which secretes from your which secretes and protects your nipples. It's a antimicrobial. So that means that it helps with germs that get on your breast. Your Montgomery glands secrete an oil to help keep that nipple and that areola healthy and oily so that it doesn't dry out. So this is why you don't need to put soap on your breast. The Montgomery glands are doing the work naturally. So when your baby is first born, the Montgomery gland secretions smell like amniotic fluid. Now, by the time your baby is about 26 weeks gestational period, your baby can taste your amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid also has a smell. So as a doula, once that those membranes rupture or the water breaks, you can smell the amniotic fluid. It's not an offensive smell. It's just fluid, and it has its own odor. Well, when you're doing skin to skin with your baby after your baby's born, your baby can smell that amniotic fluid that is being secreted through it's not the amniotic fluid, but those Montgomery glands produce a smell that smells like the amniotic fluid so that your baby can crawl up to that breast because the baby's already used to the smell and the taste in utero. So we are such perfect mammals, fearfully and wonderfully made, that God made our breasts to help our babies crawl up to our breast just like every other mammal does and latch on to that nipple. Girlfriend, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you have an innate ability to birth your baby and feed your baby. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Any questions? All right, y'all stop me anytime you have a question. Let's talk about your growing breasts. So as you get it, now these are the fundamentals. Remember, these are just the basics of your pregnancy and how you are developing. So your breasts grow during pregnancy. So sometimes moms tell me, Miss Alaine, my breasts are not any bigger than they were when I got pregnant. They're not swollen or anything. I did get some soreness. My nipples did hurt a little bit. I do have the Montgomery glands, but I'm in the end of my second trimester, or I'm in my third trimester, and my breasts have not grown. So when a mom tells me that, then I know that she may have insufficient glandular tissue, which means that her breast internally, it doesn't have the glands needed to produce milk. So typically, if a woman's breasts are not growing as her belly grows, it may mean that she won't be able to produce enough milk for her little one, or the little one will just be able to get like the colostrum at first. And that's because some moms have something called insufficient glandular tissue. Now, how do you know that a mom has that? I didn't put a picture up here, but if you picture a sock, if you just picture a long sock, and you put, let's say, an orange in that sock, an orange in that sock. If you imagine in your mind that sock is hanging at the bottom of the sock, and so all of this sock, the top of the sock all the way to the bottom is flat. So it's like you have breasts, but there's no roundness to it. It's just very flat, and then it's the areola and the nipple. And some women's breasts are shaped that way. Perhaps next time when I talk about the breastfeeding piece, I'll put breasts up there that look like, you know, a breast that has insufficient glands. The glandular tissue isn't there. So all of this is just flat, and her areola it looks like it's swollen. That's, if a woman's breasts are not growing, it's because of that. And she's not going to be able to exclusively breastfeed. So she'll have to supplement with a formula. Yeah. So your breasts, they're sore, your nipples get dark, your Montgomery glands are protruding, your breasts are growing, your bra size are growing, it's getting bigger in preparation for the colostrum. So sometimes women, probably the middle of the second trimester, sometimes you may take your bra off and it looks like you've got a little crust around your nipple. That's because your breasts it's secreting that colostrum. So that means that your breasts are getting ready for that first latch, And sometimes towards the end of the pregnancy, your breasts get sore again because the hormones are changing. So colostrum is the very first milk that your body makes, and it provides your newborn with everything that they need to start life. So your colostrum, we call it liquid gold. It's like your baby is getting inoculized with a fantastic medicinal property. And I always tell women, some women, they don't want to breastfeed for different reasons. And if they choose not to breastfeed, I always encourage them, for the first 2 to 3 days, allow your baby to get that colostrum, because that colostrum will boost up your baby's immunity, which is extremely important for this COVID climate that we're living in. Yeah. So colostrum can boost your baby's immune system and help prevent jaundice. Any questions?
Feel free, ladies, with any questions. If you want to hold them to the end, we'll have plenty of time for that. But if something is just burning to ask the question, feel free to do so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I always like to tell women that they're beautiful. Breasts are beautiful. They can do two things. They can feed our baby and satisfy our partner. They can feed our babies and satisfy our partner. And that's the power of a woman's anatomy. And I absolutely love it. Pregnancy provides an opportunity for you and your partner to form a lifelong bond with your baby. So again, at the moment of conception, you can, when you find out that you've missed your period, or your breasts are sore, your nipples are sore, you're feeling extremely tired, or you're starting to feel nauseous in the morning, you realize that you're pregnant. Once you realize that you're pregnant, before you realize that you're pregnant, your baby is already bonding with you. Your baby can feel your emotions. Talk and sing to your little one. Even if you've just taken the pregnancy test, and maybe you've gotten pregnant and it wasn't a time that was right for you. The baby's there now. We want to let the baby know, even if the time wasn't right for you, you want to tell your baby, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. You're a surprise blessing, but we're going to make it together. Why? Because your baby can feel all of that. There's scientific evidence that's going forth now that talks about babies and toddlers already have issues of the soul, mental, emotional issues of the soul because of what happened in utero. So this sister circle is a fabulous place for us to talk, to get educated, to be encouraged, to be lifted up, to be loved on. You know, I know that you all were meeting face to face, to be hugged on. I love dancing with pregnant women. I'm going to do that one. One of these days, we're going to do some dancing for birth, virtual style. And when I'm with that mom and I'm hugging them just to help her sway and move her hips, all of that, it helps with her mental, emotional well-being. And I love that. So talk to your little one. Sing to your little one. Prenatal bonding may be hard for some. Prenatal bonding may be hard for some. And if it's hard for you to accept this little one, to accept the fact that you are pregnant right now, talk to someone about it. No shame, no judgment, no guilt. You're a woman, and we all go through things. We all go through things. I have 4 children, 26-year-old, 23-year-old, 20-year-old, and a 17-year-old. And I was not planning to be pregnant with that 17-year-old, that little one. I was not. I was extremely emotional. I had to talk that through with someone because I didn't want to carry that the entire pregnancy. So mama, I want to encourage you. If you are feeling stress or strain about a surprise blessing, a surprise pregnancy, talk to someone. Let's help you process that so that you can begin to bond with your little one, okay?
I just want to add, ladies, remember, we do have our licensed clinical mental health professionals also as part of our sister circle. And of course, if you're dealing with diabetic issues, you know, gestational diabetes, we have our diabetic educators as well as our neonatal nurses on staff as well. So we have everything that you need.
Yeah. It's a village. It's an entire village, and we need that. We need that. So as we're talking about bonding with your baby, around 22 to 24 weeks gestation, your baby can hear the music, your prayers, the singing, the conversations that you're having with your friends, with your loved ones, with your partners, and also the arguments, the rage, the name calling. And so we don't want to be in that space unnecessarily because your baby can hear and pick all of that up. Your baby can hear music around 26 weeks. This is why I rave about dancing for birth. If you play the same song to your baby throughout the time that you're pregnant, if you play that same song once your baby is born, your baby can recognize and hear that and be soothed because it's recognizable. Your baby can taste your amniotic fluid during this time as well. So there you're bonding. Your amniotic fluid, that's bonding. The music that you're listening to, the people that you're talking to, the television shows that you're listening to, that's all bonding with your little one. Your baby can hear. With my first one, I heard someone say, oh, they should listen to classical music. And I wasn't much of a classical music listener until my first one, until I got pregnant with my first one. And I'd put those headphones on and I would just let him listen to classical music for about 15 music. It helps the neurological systems of the brain. Isn't that amazing? You can bond with your baby. You can talk. You can pray. You can bless your little one. I just think it's awesome. Here we go. A good support system, a healthy lifestyle, and the ability to cope with stresses of life promote a healthy pregnancy, a healthy birth, and a healthy baby. Do you have a support system? And did you invite that support system into your circle? Because some people want to be your support system and they bombard their way into your space and they were not invited. There are a lot of women who I have been a doula to or just done life coaching with. And some of them say, I just don't want my mama at my birth. She does the absolute most. Or I don't want my sister there. I want my doula and my partner, or I just want my grandma, or I want my auntie, or I want whoever you want in your circle, you invite them in because they are going to create that very sacred and emotionally loving, safe space for you, which is important because however you feel is how your little one feels. So your nutrition, your exercise, and your prenatal care is all that part of your support system. Now, I know that sometimes we wait till the end to get prenatal care, or sometimes we don't get any prenatal care. We want to invite those providers into our space to make sure that we're healthy and our little one is healthy, because we don't want to give birth to our babies prematurely, and we want to do everything that we can do so that that baby is born with a nice hefty birth weight. A nice hefty birth weight. What promotes that? Prenatal care. Having people around you that love you and that you love back. Exercise, lots of water, colorful foods, quinoa, tofu, all of those beautiful foods. That's all a part of your maturing your baby's brain and growing, gaining weight so that you can have a nice, healthy baby. Education is key for learning how to advocate for yourself. Now, remember, we're talking about the fundamentals. You're learning just the fundamentals. These fundamentals belong to you. Own them. Take them in for yourself. Ask questions at the end, because when this educational piece gets on the inside of you, once you go for that prenatal care and someone says something that you don't understand, then you can play the brain game with them. And I'm going to tell you what that is in just a minute. Prenatal yoga helps release tension and helps you become in tune with your body. So just do this with me. If you are able just to sit and just allow your spine to be nice and long, and take your shoulders and bring them up to your bring your shoulders up to your ears, and feel the tension all the way in your shoulders, and just hold it. Just hold it right there. Wear your shoulders like earrings. Just hold it and hold it. Now inhale deeply and then do this. Did you feel that? Just releasing all that tension. Now, releasing tension, you can release tension in your breath. So this is what I want us to do. We're going to do it together, but I'm going to just mimic it for you first. Inhaling deeply. Now, when you're inhaling deeply, you're going to want your belly to come out like this. So you're inhaling, and you're going to feel your lungs stretch. So when you're inhaling, you don't want to keep your belly in. You want to inhale. Watch this now. You want to inhale, and your belly protrudes outwards. And so we're going to do this. Let me do it for you first. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling on the ha. Now, if you do that 2 or 3 times, you're releasing tension from your body. We hold tension in our body. Sometimes we'll say, oh my gosh, it just feels like I'm carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. Sometimes you say, I need to talk to somebody to get something off my chest, because we're holding tension in our bodies. So being around people that love us, having a provider that you feel safe with, eating foods that have a high vibrational frequency of health and nutrition and all that to your body matters. Learning how to deep breathe matters, because you're taking your body out of fight and flight to rest and digest. So inhaling deeply, holding it at the top, and releasing on ha. One more time, inhaling deeply. holding it at the top. So when I'm in the labor room with my mom, I encourage her to, I always tell her, you've got life in your breath. You've got life in your breath. When you breathe, you oxygenate your baby. So when that contraction is coming and it's nice and strong and long, which is what we want to invite those contractions in. I encourage her, and however it sounds is how it sounds. So when you're at home by yourself, you can inhale and bring those shoulders up to create that tension, and and that's going to do a world of good at releasing that tension from your body and allowing your baby to relax as well. So relaxation and visualization help you to take a breath from a busy day. Just close your eyes and visualize the beach. Visualize your baby. Visualize anything that brings peace. So a good support system, a healthy lifestyle, and the ability to cope with stresses of life promote health in pregnancy. You can go to YouTube and you can type in prenatal yoga, and you and your baby and the YouTube lady can take you through a whole prenatal yoga practice. Or if you know a friend, if you have a friend, maybe she's pregnant, maybe she's not, but call her and say, girl, we doing yoga on Wednesday at 12 o'clock at my house. Yeah, invite those people into your space. The healthcare system and care provider can increase or decrease a woman's confidence in the normality of pregnancy and in her ability to have a healthy, that's supposed to say healthy baby. Let's talk into that a little bit. Spend time looking for a birth location and a provider. Ask questions. When you have a provider, when you get a provider, ask them, how many C-sections do you usually perform on a yearly basis? And why do you typically perform those cesarean births? Ask them, how do you feel about vaginal birth after cesarean? Ask them, how do you feel about me being able to move around while I'm laboring? How do you feel about me being able to eat and drink while laboring? How do you feel about me bringing my loved one in the labor room with me while I'm laboring? Ask them those questions. Get answers. A good provider will build your confidence in nurturing your baby during pregnancy and to birth your baby. If your provider is not creating a confidence and a safe place, that person might not be the right one for you. So you should be able to ask your provider any questions, and they should take the time and not rush you out. If you don't understand something, tell them, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Can you say that another way? Spend time looking for a birth location and a provider. Shop around, ask questions, because a good provider is going to build your confidence. Informed decisions. Make an informed decision. So what do you mean? Okay, let's just say the doctor says, so we're going to, after you are done here, ma'am, I want you to go down to the lab and get some blood drawn. We're going to take some tests. What tests? What are you testing for? How many vials of blood are you taking? Like, don't allow them to just shoo you to the lab and just take blood from your body that you don't understand why they're taking that blood. That's called an informed decision. Here's another one. We love to have ultrasounds so that we can find out the gender, but they're not really concerned about the gender. They're looking for abnormalities. So if they're saying, well, we're going to do a routine ultrasound, ask them why. What are you looking for? And then if there is an abnormality, do you have systems in place for me to get the support that I need? Ask those questions. These are the brain questions. So here's, if they're wanting to do an intervention, if they're wanting to do an episiotomy, that's an intervention. Why? Here are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions that you're going to want to ask your provider while you're in labor, while you're getting your prenatal care. Here we go. Always use your brain when making medical decisions, because you're supposed to work as a partner with your provider to make medical decisions that is best for you. Remember, they're supposed to make you feel confident about this journey of pregnancy, labor, and childbirth. So let's look at B. If they say to you, so an episiotomy is when they cut the perineal part of your perineum, your right below your vagina, in between like your anus and your vagina. They'll cut right there, sometimes to make you that area a little bit bigger so baby can come forth. So they'll say, well, we're going to give you an episiotomy, okay? No. We're going to give you an episiotomy. Are you fine with that? No. Why? What are the benefits? How is this going to help my labor? How will this help my baby? How will this help me? What is the benefit? That's the B. If your provider is frustrated with you in your prenatal visits, when you're asking questions, they're going to be frustrated with you when you are in that sacred space of birthing. This is why it's important for you. This is a fundamental principle. Find someone that you can vibe with while you're pregnant. So the B, the benefit, the risk. What is the risk? How will this affect my labor? How will this affect my baby? How will this affect me? Is there a risk involved? Let's look at the A. You can ask them, is there an alternative? And sometimes there is an alternative. Sometimes they can just do a massage there. Sometimes they can help guide the baby through. Sometimes you can change a position. Now, I have been at a birth where this baby's head was small, was huge. Mommy was very narrow in the hips, and she pushed and she pushed and she pushed. And the doctor said, I don't usually give episiotomies, but you've been laboring for over 24 hours with no medication. And I just want to get your permission to just give you a little incision just to help guide that baby's head out. Is that okay? And then she had another contraction, and he said, don't answer now. Let's get through this contraction, and then let's talk in between contractions. I love that doctor. His name is Dr. Rothling. He's right out here where we are. I love him. So she had the contraction. We talked her through that contraction. And when she was in that rest period, he explained it again. And she looked at me as her doula for permission, but I'm not a medical person. So I asked her, do you have any other questions? How do you feel about that? Does it feel right? She said, it feels right. He made a tiny incision, bam, the baby came straight through. But she learned the brain. She learned to use her brain because I was her doula. So the alternative, what are the other options? And then the I, the intuition. What's your gut saying? You are a woman. You have that maternal intuition. You've got that inner voice that speaks to you. Listen to her, mama. Sometimes you could say, no, I'm not feeling that. I ain't feeling that right now. Can we just wait a few more minutes? And that's the end. I need time to think this decision through. I need a private moment to talk to my family. What happens if we wait? What happens if we say no? So in my doula practice, I have these little cards, and it's got this on a card. So maybe you can print this out, just minimize it, print this out. You can go to Google Images and type in brain for labor. Type in brain for labor on Google Images. Find the picture that tickles your fancy. Copy and paste it, minimize it, print that thing out and put it in your bag that you're taking to the hospital, or put it in your purse, or whoever your partner is, put it in their purse, put it in their wallet, take it with you. And then when they say, you know what, you have been laboring for a long time, we want to get things moving along, we're going to go ahead and give you Pitocin. Okay, hold on a minute, sir, hold on. How will this help my labor? What is the benefit? And you go through it. You read it straight off of the paper. No shame, no embarrassment. And then you let them give you the information that you need. If they're not doing it for you, or if they're getting frustrated, then you tell them, I'm not feeling safe in this conversation. Is there anyone else that you can send in to help me understand why you feel like this is necessary? Don't go in there going off. Don't cuss them out. Don't get no attitude, because whatever you sow, you're going to reap. Yeah. And if you are calm, cool, and collected, and they're acting cray-cray, then you say, thank you so much for your time, but I would like for you to please send someone else in, because I'm not feeling safe in this conversation. And boo, you have a right. You absolutely have a right. So get that brain, use your brain, get that printed out and put it in you somewhere. So when they're saying, we want to do this intervention, we want to do that, you pull it out, you read from it. And baby girl, that is how you advocate for yourself. Let's go to the beginning. We talked about the fundamental, the basics, the necessary things, the key things, the crucial information for your pregnancy. You take control over your pregnancy. You take control over what provider you feel safe with. Take control over your nutrition. Eat those things that are going to help create a wonderful brain for your baby. Remove people out of your life while you're pregnant that bringing that toxic energy to you, because whatever you're going through, your baby's going through. Turn on that yoga practice on YouTube. Invite your friends, your auntie, somebody, and allow them to participate in that yoga with you, that deep breathing, so that you can get in a quiet space for just a few moments every day, because you deserve it. And that is it from me. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to know, I've asked you questions every time you came on, but
I love it.
I am carrying twins, so my situation is a little more complicated than the average situation. But actually I have more than one question, so I'll just preface it with that. But I want to know, have you been a doula to a mother with twins? And if so, what have some of your experiences been like?
I have been a doula to a mother with twins one time, and the doctor was phenomenal. She had a vaginal birth, but if I remember, were you telling me that one of your little ones was breech, or they weren't head down?
Yes, my boy was as stubborn as can be whole time he has been breech. But at either my last or the appointment before last, they were both head down and they have no space for moving. So they should be both head down when I deliver.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. So yes, let's celebrate. That's a beautiful thing. Yes. So the one multiple birth that I was at, the mother that had multiples, she had a vaginal birth. The doctor was fantastic. She birthed them one after the other. And that birth, I'll tell you a little story. That birth was exciting to me. Number one, because she was having twins. She had in vitro fertilization to get pregnant, because she wasn't able to get pregnant on her own. So when the first little baby, when we could see we knew they were two boys, we saw his head crowning. And we looked, and I looked at Dad. Dad looked at me, and we looked, and this baby had blonde hair. And the doctor said, come on, push. She pushed, and the baby ran. He had bright blue eyes. And the daddy said, Doc, I don't think that you gave my wife the right sperm. Well, come to find out, the baby was an albino. His brother was born right after him. Jet black hair, brown eyes, and brown skin. And so she birthed these two babies. One was albino, and the other one was brown. And I was like, because when the husband said, I don't think you gave me my wife. I was like, they gave this woman some white man's sperm, but it wasn't so. She gave birth to two beautiful, healthy baby boys, and one was an albino. It was so beautiful. Yeah. So if your blood pressure is fine and everything's well, and you're having these conversations at your prenatal appointments with your doctor, and your doctor understands what your birth plan is, all should be well. But we also give them the option, if there's a true medical emergency, for you to be taken to the OR and birthing that baby through your abdomen, because at the end of the day, we want a healthy baby and a healthy mama.
Yes. So my blood pressure, everything is normal. I only swell I love to cook, but I only swell when I'm on my feet a lot. But regularly, everything is normal. My blood pressure is normal. The twins' heart rates are great. It's a girl and a boy. So at this point, it seems to be optimal. Everything seems to be optimal for a vaginal delivery. And I love the OBGYN that I was referred to by Miss Renata and multiple girls within the group. He's absolutely wonderful. He's done a lot of twin births, and he does not do a lot of C-sections. He tries to avoid them like the plague if he can. And I've also asked him about giving birth in different positions, because this is a lot of stuff I asked you about last time. And he really gave me his professional opinion that what I want to do is up to me. He told me why he recommends
Girl, you
certain
got to
things.
make me fall out of this chair.
He's wonderful. I'm so, I can't even explain how pleased I am, because this has been the most out of my control pregnancy I've ever had. So to have someone who's reassuring and doesn't tell me no, but at least gives me understanding of why he feels the way he feels about certain things is really, really comforting. Even I asked him about alternatives to epidural, because I didn't want one. And he told me there all are alternatives. And he said, I have a right to choose. He said, if I didn't want one at all, I could do that. But he did explain to me that although things do look optimal for me to give birth vaginally, if for some reason one of the babies was in distress and I needed to go to the OR, he still recommended that I have the epidural or some type of pain intervention, because he was like, our job is to get the baby out. So if you have no pain medication, we still got to get that baby out, which I appreciated him telling me that, so I can make an informed, comfortable decision and not feel like I'm getting an epidural just because, for the fun of getting an epidural, which we all know is no fun whatsoever. So
right.
I really did appreciate that. I did want to know, but my babies are large and I am spreading very quickly, and I'm in a lot of pain in my pelvic area. So I have an OBGYN appointment this Friday, and I'm going to ask them to check just to see if there's any dilation. I'm producing a lot of mucousy fluids from there. So I do want to ask them, because I'm only 29 weeks, but with how fast I'm progressing, and I got pregnant when my previous baby was only 9 months, and there's 2 of them in there. So, things are rolling right along.
Right.
How can of course I'm going to breastfeed. I don't know how I'm a breastfeed too, but I'm a pray and God's going to work it out. What can I do to help boost or protect their immune systems, being that there is a good chance? He's already told me to prepare to give birth as early as 35 weeks, if that's when my body decides to go into labor. What can I do to help besides the breastfeeding to protect them?
Ask me that question again. You're asking me what you can do now for your breastfeeding journey?
Well, once I give birth, what can I do to help boost their immune systems or protect them, because I could give birth so early?
Yeah. So does your hospital have a lactation consultant?
Yes.
And is the lactation consultant there 24/7, or is she just there 9 to 5 in the daytime and during the week?
I'm actually not sure.
So I would love to encourage you to figure out what her hours are if she's on call, because what you're going to want to do, the best thing that you can do is get that lactation consultant in there to help you start hand expressing that colostrum. And you're going to want to do that every 2 hours. You're going to want to be manipulating those breasts and you're going to want to be speaking to those breasts so that colostrum can come forth. And they should teach you how to do that. And if you haven't been to a breastfeeding support class yet, I highly, highly recommend you do that before your little ones come. It's going to be work. It's going to be work because you have to move milk to make milk. Never forget that. You have to move milk to make milk. So they're going to teach you how to hand express, and hand expressing is better than latching on to the machine, because anyway, your lactation consultant is going to explain all of that to you. Move milk to make milk. Move milk every 2 hours around the clock. Get the colostrum out. Get that milk moving. Even if you're able to latch, depending on how big they are. Kangaroo care is imperative for that breastfeeding portion. So that skin to skin, if you're able, is important. Getting them to start latching as soon as possible is important.
Thank you so much.
And I want to also say, I had the experience of being there with a mother that had twins. I don't know if Miss Renata remember, but we had some twins that we were there when they gave babies. And one thing that really, really interests me was the father was there. And when she birthed the twins, one of them temperature was low. The other body temperature was okay, but the other baby's body temperature was low. So what I suggested was to wrap that baby in the kangaroo with the father, because she had the other baby and she had to breastfeed the other baby. In the meantime, we didn't want to separate the babies. We wanted to keep the family together. So the father was there with a blanket around him, and he was helping the baby's temperature to rise. And it worked very, very, very well. You also have to remember, as far as breastfeeding, just like your third time breastfeeding, you done breastfed, for quite a long time. And you had plenty of classes, within mommy's, babies, bellies, and daddies, but this is going to be different because you're breastfeeding twins. So you got to make sure you keep your nutrition up, because you want to have enough energy. You don't want to be tired, and you got to keep your water up, your hydration. And remember, you have those young ones too. So you're going to be very, very, very active, but nutrition is going to be the key. And as far as your milk for your premature babies or your babies at 35 or 36 weeks, the mother's body is very, very special. So if you birth a baby at 35 weeks, your body knows that baby is 35 weeks. So the milk that it prepares for that infant will be for a baby that is 35 weeks. Your body will not produce milk for a baby that is 1 year old, because your baby is not 1 year old. So whatever that, 35 weeks or 36 weeks, whatever week that baby is, that is the type of milk that your baby will get. So, you're going to have to master that, twins, decide on how you're going to do it, make sure when you come home, you have everything organized, because you're going to be pretty, pretty busy. Make sure you have your nutritional plan available. Make sure you have your food list available. In case you can't go to the store, you have a list of things that you eat, and somebody can go to the store for you. Make sure you have your child care ready to go. Have a list of people that you can call. Can I call you if I need you? A lot of people, people ask them, well, what can I do for you? I'm coming over. Well, this is what you can do for me. If I need you, you can watch the baby for 3 hours, or you can bring me a gallon of water, or you can bring me a watermelon. You see what I'm saying? Make everybody get involved, because you're going to have your hands full, but it is exciting. You're going to have fun and quite an experience.
We have a few more expectant moms on this particular call. Ladies, do any of you have any questions or any comments? You know who you are.
I have a question.
I have one.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Precious.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I want to know, is labor, does it really hurt, or is it okay?
It's okay. And yes, you will feel pain, but but those waves of energy that you feel, that's the pain that we want to embrace, because that's the pain that is going to move your baby down. Yes. And so if you don't have a birth doula, I want to encourage, I just believe every woman should have a birth doula, because she's going to labor with you and massage you and love on you and help with those comfort measures so that you can get through every beautiful contraction. And the key is to invite the contraction in with your groaning, with your breathing, with the massage, with the verbal affirmations, with the verbal coaching, and all of that. So when you think of a contraction hurting, it's not the hurt like a headache that lets you know that something's wrong. It's not the hurt of in your chest that lets you know something's wrong. It is the beautiful energy that permeates through your abdomen to bring your baby down.
All right, Nikki, what you think? Nikki, what do you have to say about it? tell us what you think.
Well, oh, I love that question. I had 2 babies naturally, only with the grace of God of me meeting Miss Bosma and Miss Freeman and Miss Renata. That's my support system. Now, as far as talking about, does it hurt? Now, I'm going to tell you like this. It's going to be the best poop of your life. That's what it feels like. You got to take a bowel movement. That's what it feels like. So you'll feel the cramping. You feel the cramping like your stomach is bubbling up. That's the waves. So every now and then it'll get stronger, and it gets stronger. That's only because it's getting closer. The baby's getting more descending in, getting ready to come out. You'll feel it going down your back. You'll feel it in your abdomen. And once the baby gets close, that's what they call crowning. Some people say it's a ring of fire. I felt the ring of fire one time, and that's what hurt. But 2 years ago, I didn't feel no ring of fire because Miss Bosma and Miss Renata gave me some tips and tricks. I did not know about honey during labor. That kept my energy up. Before then, with my 8-year-old, my doctor told me not to eat or drink. Do your research.
Any honey.
Your pain is only based off of here. You're not having any pain. Your baby is coming. So you're cramping and you're going to feel like you got to poop. When you feel like you got to poop, that's the push. Push that baby straight out. You're good.
Miss Bonita has a question. Are you there, Miss Bonita? There you are.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sorry, I had to unmute and all that good stuff. Okay, so first I'll say hi to everybody.
Hello.
And then and second, I have a long birthing story. I'm on my 5th child, I'm on my 5th boy. And with my first 3, I had C-sections that I was, from my experience, it was trickery involved. I was tricked into it for 3 different reasons each time. But anyway, with my 4th baby, I had him naturally due to myself. And I had him vaginally because I literally couldn't find a doctor that would see me. So I ended up laboring at home because after having 3 C-sections, knowing that my body is definitely able to have a vaginal birth, but no doctor really wanted to do that because it's some unspoken protocol or something that they have to go by, in my opinion. And so yeah, I labored at home, and I would say this as far as pain goes. Number one, I think the idea has from just birth, from watching TV or whatever, hearing stuff, is this idea what labor looks like with laying back with your legs in there and screaming and pushing, and then that's implanted in your brain. But really, it could be whatever experience you make it. And I feel like she said she didn't know about honey and different things. I think it really is supposed to be very peaceful and calming. And there should be all types of Reiki and maybe candles, that all types of stones and things we don't even know about, to really ease the process from what that little norm that we think of. However, with my experience, so going off with the best of my knowledge by myself, with all the family around me pretty much scared because the doctors have scared them all.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm in it on my own. But like, you know what? Was at my mom like, you know what, maybe we should go to the hospital. I'm like, if we go to the hospital, they're gonna give me a C-section. That's just it. They're gonna get on my nerves more than you. You know what I'm saying? So take me home. So now I'm at home walking around, because I walked around like the whole city, the park, Burlington, like I just was everywhere. Laboring, you know, trying to just get through my contraction the best way I could with the knowledge I had in my brain. So I would say the most painful I got is definitely, okay, I'll tell you this. By the time I got to the hospital, I was 8 centimeters dilated, because I knew I couldn't come in there like, you know what I mean? I had to come in there like ready to go. I just really needed somebody to receive the baby at that point. But I will tell you this, I wish I could have done it with my first 3. I'm going to do it with this 5th one. And it's like after you go through that pain is nowhere near how you feel after. It's like nirvana. Like they said, that's the most serotonin a woman will ever experience in your life. And I felt every bit of it. Like after, it was like, it's like euphoric. And it's natural to go through the pain. Yeah, think about it, like you are pushing a whole nother person out of your body. But it's natural. There's nothing unnatural about, you know, the pain of it. But it's not a unbearable pain, or else it wouldn't be natural. You know, your body's not gonna put you through anything you can't handle, in my opinion, because I'm a complete naturalist. So, as far as asking about the pain, yeah, it would be a lot of like, oh yeah, you're gonna be. I mean, you could. I've heard different women just say like, you know, they pushed and that was it. And I've seen videos. It's so peaceful and calm. And I would just say, make a really calm environment for yourself, and make it so that you're able to move around and do what you get in whatever position you have to get in to make the pain alleviate as much as you can. Because that's possible. You laying on your back, you might be in more pain versus maybe you rock from side to side, squatting, bending over, whatnot. So yeah, that's just my input. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Bonita. Ladies, does anyone have anything else before we prepare to close? Yes, Miss Jackie.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to know, in this COVID time, if a person wanted to have a doula, would they be able to have a doula like through Skype or like the way we're talking?
There are some doulas who do virtual, give virtual support.
Right,
yes,
that's what I meant to
ma'am.
say, virtual.
Yes, there are some doulas that do, yes.
And how will we be able to find that?
If you go to, oh gosh, what is it called? I think it's called doulasupport.com. Doulasupport.com. Or you can look up donas in your area, dona or doulas in your area. And they should be able to come up. Doulas in your area. You can call your hospital and ask them if they have a doula list as well. Or if you have a childbirth education, a place where people go for childbirth education, they can have a list. But I think it's doulasupport.com, and you can find doulas in your area.
All right, thank you.
Let me ask Ms. Miles, are you available to do, have you done a virtual?
But I want to ask a question. Why does she prefer a virtual?
Because she wants me in the room, and she wants his mother in the her husband's father and mother in the room too. And they only are letting you have the 2 people.
2 people. Okay.
So she's torn because she wants a doula, because she wants to make sure everything, she wrote out everything like you said on a piece of paper. She wants to make sure that's executed.
So what hospital is this?
I think she's gonna be I think she's gonna be at Memorial Regional.
Let me call you and talk to them and see that policy, because every hospital has a different policy. So and who's her doctor?
I can't think of her name right now.
Okay. I'll get in contact with you because I do know a lot of virtual doulas. Okay. And the policies are different for every hospital. So it's nothing.
Well, I know they do have they have a birth bath there, because she has to schedule that now.
A birth bath?
Yeah, she wants to be in the water.
Okay, now they can get tricky. Because see, without a doula there, she can say all she wants. She can say what she wants. But, you know, once they give her that epidural or those interventions or whatever, you might as well forget about the bath. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot to it.
That's why I wanted to ask the question, because that is an unknown part for us. Like we've never had a doula. We've never, but she's she's conventional, so she wants to do.
Okay, that's wonderful. It's wonderful. I can talk to you about that. And I know a lot of doulas.
So she's thinking about ditching the mother-in-law for the doula. So she's like torn. So that's why I'm asking. So
let me call
a comfortable way of saying hospital. We don't want you.
Yeah, let me call a hospital.
Yeah, and she can
see the policy and see.
I know some people who are also putting their in-laws or their sisters on, inviting them into the birthing room virtual and inviting their doula in. So mama, sister, grandma, and them, you're going to be virtual, but my doula's going to be hands-on.
Okay.
Is this her first?
No, this is her second.
Okay.
I got you, Nikki, but Miss Adrian Faye put a question in the comments. It says she would prefer an African-American doula. Any names? I think we have you covered, Miss Adrian. Okay. That's not going to be a problem for you. Miss Nikki, you have a final question or comment?
Well, actually, I was just letting Miss Lewis, I miss her. I miss her smiling face in the class. So I just wanted to let you know, Miss Lewis, that when Miss Bosma wasn't able to come with me, which I wish she was able to, but she wasn't able to at the time, I requested to ask for a nurse that was also a doula. You could also ask the hospital to make sure you have that particular person there with you. So if your doula wasn't able to come, they have a nurse and a doula and one person to help you through the whole process. And with my 2 years ago, I requested for a doula RVA. So they are they don't ask for any type of money, anything at all. They come to your home, they assist you before delivery, during delivery, and after delivery. And she would have them for like 6 weeks to assist with any and everything. They helped with my children. They helped me in the hospital and when I was at home. So those are the routes you can take as a backup, because that's how I looked at them as well. So that helps out a lot.
All right. All righty, ladies. It has been a pleasure, as always, seeing your beautiful, shining faces. We appreciate you, Shanithia and Miss Tanya. I think we had a few others who were on and off.
Hi, Shanithia.
Yes. Our alumni who joined us on today. We always want to keep a connection with our mothers who have gone through our program, and we appreciate our new moms, Miss Adrian, Miss Precious, who have joined us on today. We are going to be here for you every step of the way. We are here for our virtuals We will be reaching out to you. Most of you, I think I have your information, that we'll be reaching out to you for our next virtual, which will be scheduled on, I believe, July the 12th, when we will have our facilitator that day will be a mom from the city of Richmond who works for the city of Richmond, and she wants to talk to our mothers about how important and how she managed to raise 2 children, which she breastfed and worked at the same time. That's essential. So she has volunteered her services to come in to be our facilitator for that day. And of course, we will invite each and every one of you back and bring, everybody knows a mom who's either pregnant, we all know them, who's either pregnant, who have just had their babies, or who are still currently breastfeeding. In your travels, invite them to the circle. Let Miss Renata, Dr. Freeman, and Miss Bosma know who these ladies are, because we want to support all of those who need support or who just want to be in the circle. So on behalf of Dr. Alice Freeman, who is our CEO and founder, on behalf of our grand doula, Miss Bosma, and on behalf of Miss Anissa Johnson, our administrator, our tech support, as well as our preschool readiness program facilitator, and of course, the lovely Alaine Strozier, who is our 4th Monday in the month facilitator, our childbirth expert extraordinaire. We want to thank each of you for your time on this afternoon. We love you and we lift you up, whatever it is that you need. You know, I've got the pink phone. It is here. Text or give us a call. If I don't answer right away, you know to leave a message, get a text, and I'll be right back out to you. So we look forward to seeing you next time, and your deliveries will be out on tomorrow. Okay? So take care. Be well. We love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.